Isn't it wonderful how on that one Tuesday in November, everybody gets a day off to go to the races here in Melbourne? However, that doesn't happen in a certain other place where a certain other important event happens. I'm talking about the American presidential elections. Yes, you have to vote on a Tuesday instead of like a day where people don't work, and you don't get a day off for that Tuesday. You don't get a public holiday for that Tuesday. You have to take time off work and go all the way to the voting place. And then there are certain laws that stop certain people from voting or hinder them from voting. There's not enough polling machines in certain places, for example, and they've got voter ID laws which almost always disenfranchise the poor people and the students and the elderly, and give votes to richer people with driving licenses and that sort of thing. Right. Don't let this discourage you. Go and vote. See, I know. Here in Australia we have different priorities. Yes, we have a day off for horse racing, but we have our voting on weekends, and it's compulsory. We have to pay a $60 fine or if we don't vote. And then we've got preferential voting, but I'll get that into that later. Anyway, we have things like universal health care and banks that don't implode and stuff. And America doesn't. You know why? Because you don't vote. Go and vote. Go and vote often. Well, no. Once, but vote once every time you have a choice to vote, because you've got a choice. We don't. We have to go and vote, or else we have to pay $60 or $70 or something. Like last time, I didn't. So go and vote, please. And if they've got a long line, just go there anyway. Even if you're in the queue. Once the polls close, you're already in the queue, so you can go vote. And if they say you can't, then there's people watching the polls and they say you can't vote. But if you just go check online, use your phone and check online, and that goes if you're in fact, go before you leave. Make sure that you can vote with whatever ID you have. So if your state requires vote for picture ID, then make sure you've got your picture ID. And if you don't have your picture ID, but your state doesn't require your picture ID, then don't worry about those people who are watching the polls saying you can't vote, because you can. Just check everything beforehand, and check whether they allow felons to vote, convicted felons, because some states do and some states don't. And even if your state, even if you're not a convicted felon, that guy behind you could be a convicted felon, and you don't want him to not vote. Maybe you do want him to not vote. Anyway, if somebody else around you is a convicted felon, but they have the right to vote, then tell them that they have the right to vote when one of the poll watchers might say, no, you can't vote, even if they can. But check beforehand. I think that's it. Go vote!